Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Principles of Marketing. We are now at our second week, and our topic for this week is strategic planning. So, for this week, we will describe how a firm analyzes its internal environment. We will also describe the external environment a firm may face and how it is analyzed. Also, for this topic, we will describe different types of product strategies and market entry strategies that companies usually pursue. And by the end of the lesson, we will explain what a value proposition is. So let's start for our week 2 lesson. First, what is strategic planning? So it is a process that helps an organization allocate its resources to capitalize on opportunities in the marketplace. Typically, it is a long-term process. The strategic planning process includes conducting a situation analysis and developing the organization's mission statement, objectives, value proposition, and strategies. So for strategic planning, there are processes that we have to follow. So first one is conducting a situation analysis. So as a part of the strategic planning process, a situation analysis must be conducted before a company can decide on specific actions. Mainly, for this process, a situation analysis involves analyzing both the external, so for the external, it is the macro and micro factors outside the organization. And we have to analyze the internal, which is a company, environments. So the firm's internal environment, such as its financial resources, technological resources, and the capabilities of its personnel and their performance has to be examined. So this is what we are trying to say. We have to evaluate the external environment. So the economy, competition, political, legal environment, etc., and many more external macro and micro factors outside the organization. And we also have to evaluate the internal environment, the firm's financial and human resources, technological capabilities, and etc., and many more. So it is also critical to examine the external macro and micro environments the firm faces, such as the economy and its competitors. The external environment significantly affects the decision a firm makes and thus must be continuously evaluated. So, for example, during the economic downturn that happened in the year 2008 to 2009, so businesses found that many competitors cut the prices of their products drastically. Some other companies also reduced package sizes or the amount of product in packages. So that is one of a strategy that they use for this economic downturn. Also, some firms offered customers some incentives such as free shipping, free gift cards with purchase rebates, etc. to purchase their goods and services online, which allowed businesses to cut back on the personnel needed to staff their brick and mortar stores. While a business cannot control things such as the economy, changes in demographic trends, or what competitors do, it must decide what actions to take to remain competitive, actions that depend in part of their internal environment. So this is the first process in strategic planning, conducting a situation analysis. So the inputs, as what we've said, evaluate the external and internal environment, and then we have to go on with our mission, objectives, and the value proposition and strategy formulation. The next process that we have to follow for this strategic planning in order for us to allocate our resources and to capitalize opportunities in the marketplace is the conducting a SWOT analysis. So first, what is SWOT? SWOT is defined as strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So based on the situation analysis, organizations analyze their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, or conduct what's called the SWOT analysis. Strengths and weaknesses are internal factors and are somewhat controllable. For example, an organization's strength might include its brand name, efficient distribution network, reputation for great service, and strong financial position. A firm's weaknesses might include lack of awareness of its product in the marketplace, a lack of human resource talent, and a poor location. So opportunities and threats are factors that are external to the firm and largely uncontrollable. Opportunities might entail the international demand for the type of products that the firm makes, few competitors, and favorable social trends such as people living longer. Threats might include a bad economy. We have here bad economy, high interest rates that increase a firm's borrowing costs, and an aging population that makes it hard for the business to find workers. Although also we include competitors for our threats as well. So you can conduct this process, this SWOT analysis of yourself to help determine your competitive advantage. So usually when you conduct a SWOT analysis, you make a list of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So whereas your weaknesses can include a lack of organization, then perhaps your strengths include strong leadership abilities and communication skills. So opportunities for you might exist in specific careers and industries. However, the economy and the other people competing for the same position might be threats. Moreover, for this process, a factor that is a strength of for one person, say, let's say, strong accounting skills, so might be a weakness for another person. So, which is the other counterpart is it has a poor accounting skills. So the same is true for businesses. The next strategic planning process is assessing the internal environment and assessing the external environment. Once we know the internal environment and external environment, we can now assess each of it. So for the internal environment, as we have indicated, when an organization evaluates which factors are its strengths and weaknesses, it is assessing its internal environment. Once companies determine their strengths, they can use those strengths to capitalize on opportunities and develop their competitive advantage. For assessing the external environment, analyzing the external environment involves tracking conditions in the macro and micro marketplace that, although largely uncontrollable, affect the way an organization does business. The macro environment includes economic factors, demographic trends, cultural and social trends, political and legal regulations, technological changes, and of course the price and availability of natural resources. So these are the 4 strategic planning process: conducting a situation analysis, conducting a SWOT analysis, assessing the internal environment, and assessing the external environment. So we also have the 5 forces model. So usually we use this for the competitive environment that we have in our economy. So all organizations must consider their competition, whether it is direct or indirect competition for consumer. But nonprofit and for-profit organizations compete for customers' resources. We have example 2, direct competitors in the industry, which is Coke and Pepsi. We also have international competitors in the hospitality industry, which is Hilton and Sheraton. Also, another organizations which are non-profit in the non-profit sector that compete is the United Way and American Cancer Society. So these are some of the examples. However, hotels must also consider other options that people have when selecting a place to stay, such as hostels, dorms, bed and breakfast, or rental homes. So there are many types of accommodation, and people have a lot of choices also. So a group of competitors that provide similar products or services form an industry. As for Michael Porter, he is a professor at Harvard and a leading authority on competitive strategy. So he developed this approach, the five forces model. So let's discuss Professor Michael Porter's approach for this competitive environment. So what is this five forces model? This is a framework that helps organizations understand their current competitors as well as organizations that could become competitors in the future. As such, firms can find the best way to defend their position in the industry. So this is it. We have the competitive rivalry, direct competitors, potential new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers, substitutes, and bargaining power of buyers. For this one, when a firm conducts a competitive analysis, they tend to focus on direct competitors and try to determine a firm's strength and weaknesses, its image, and its resources. Doing so helps the firm figure out how much money a competitor may be able to spend on things such as research, new product development, promotion, and new locations. With this competitive analysis, it involves looking at any information such as annual reports, financial statements, news stories, observation details obtained on visits, and many more. And it is also, the information is available on competitors. Another means of collecting competitive information utilizes mystery shoppers. And I don't know if you have heard of mystery shoppers, but these mystery shoppers are people who act like customers. And mystery shoppers might visit competitors to learn about their customer service and their products. Usually they spy on them, they have to learn on them, they have to get information about this certain product or service. So imagine going to a competitor's restaurant and studying the menu and the price and watching customers to see what items are popular and then changing your menu to better compete. Also, competitors battle for the customer's money and they must know what other firms are doing. Individuals and teams also compete for jobs, titles, and prizes, and must figure out the competitors' weaknesses and plans in order to take advantage of their strengths and have a better chance of winning. So, according to Professor Porter, we must consider, or an organization must consider the strength and impact of the following it could have. This is the diagram that we have, and when any of these factors change, companies may have to respond by changing their strategies. Next is the external environment. So for the external environment, we will discuss some factors that affect your organization. We have competitive and political and legal environment. We also have technology. We also have economic environment. We have natural resources and the mission statement. First, let's discuss the competitive, political, and legal environment. So we have here an example, a picture of Paris. So why did I put as an example? Here I will explain it to you. So all organizations must comply with government regulations and understand the political and legal environments in which they do business. So for this one, we have different government agencies that enforce the numerous regulations that have been established to protect both consumers and businesses. When organizations conduct business in multiple markets, they must understand that regulations vary across countries and across states. Many states and countries have different laws that affect strategy. So we have here example of Paris, or in France, for example, suppose you are opening up a new factory because you cannot keep up with the demand of your products. If you are considering opening the factory in France, perhaps because the demand in Europe for your product is very strong, so you need to know that it is illegal for employees in that country to work more than 35 hours per week. So the limit only of the working hours of the employees there is only 35 hours. So we must consider also the competitive, political, and legal environment. Also, the next one is the technology. So I will explain also to you why I put up Catriona Gray's picture with her advertisement in Jollibee. So for technology, we all know that technology is available in the world and it is changing the way people communicate and the way firms do businesses. Everyone is mainly affected by technological changes. So self-scanners and video displays at stores, ATMs, or the internet and mobile phones are a few examples of how technology is affecting businesses and consumers. Many consumers get information, read the news, use text messaging, and shop online. Oh, yeah, we all know that we have a famous online shopping platform already here in Philippines, which is Lazada and Shopee. And that is a great innovation for our shopping industry. So as a result, marketers have begun allocating more of their promotion budgets to online ads and mobile marketing, and not just to traditional print media such as newspapers and magazines. Applications for telephones and electronic devices are changing the way people obtain information and shop, allowing customers to comparison shop without having to visit multiple stores. Many young people rely more on electronic books, magazines, and newspapers and depend on mobile devices for most of their information needs. Organizations must adapt to new technologies in order to succeed. So here at the Philippines, there are some Jollibee branches that already have put up a kiosk for online, or I mean for self-order system. So typically, what we mainly do when we order is we have a one-on-one interaction with the cashier. But some branches in Jollibee, you will just input your order and you may customize your order as well. And then you will just have to go to the cashier for your payment and then you'll just have to wait for your order. So this is a technological changes in one of our famous fast food restaurant here at the Philippines. We also have economic environment. So for the economic environment, we all know that the economy has a major impact on spending by both consumers and businesses, which in turn affects the goals and strategies of organization. Economic factors includes variables such as inflation, unemployment, interest rates, and whether the economy is in growth period or a recession. Inflation occurs when the cost of living continues to rise, eroding the purchasing power of money. When this happens, you and other consumers and businesses need more money to purchase goods and services. Interest rates often rise when inflation rises. Recession can also occur when inflation rises because higher prices sometimes cause slow or negative growth in the economy. During a recessionary period, it is possible for both high-end and low-end products to sell well. Consumers who can afford luxury goods may continue to buy them, yet while consumers with lower incomes tend to become more value conscious. Other goods and services, such as products sold in traditional department stores, may suffer. And of course, in the face of a severe economic downturn, even the sales of luxury goods can suffer as well. And another external environment that we have is the natural resources. We all know that for these natural resources, it is just a scarce commodity, and consumers are becoming increasingly aware of this fact. Today, many firms are doing more to engage in sustainable practices that help product protect the environment and conserve natural resources. There are ways on how to make a sustainable practice. We have here a green marketing. And for green marketing, it involves marketing environmentally safe products and services in a way that is good for the environment. Water shortages often occur in the summer months, so many restaurants now only serve patrons water upon request. Hotels voluntarily conserve water by not washing guest sheets and towels every day unless they request it. Also, reusing packages such as refillable containers and reducing the amount of packaging, paper, energy, and water in the production of goods and services are becoming key considerations for many organizations, whether they sell their products to other businesses or to final users. Construction companies are using more energy efficient materials and often have to comply with green building solutions. Green marketing not only helps the environment but also saves the company and ultimately the consumer money. Sustainability, ethics, doing the right things, and social responsibility, such as helping the society, communities, and other people, influence an organization's planning process and the strategies they implement. We also have here the firm's mission statement. So the firm's mission statement states that the purpose of the organization and why it exists. Why is it giving its service? Why is it selling its product? Both profit and non-profit organizations have mission statements, which they often publicize. So we have following examples of mission statements, such as Pepsi. So Pepsi's mission statement is stated, our mission is to be the world's premier consumer products company focused on convenient foods and beverages. We seek to produce financial rewards to investors as we provide opportunities for growth and enrichment to our employees, our business partners, and the communities in which we operate. And in everything we do, we strive for honesty, fairness, and integrity. So this is Pepsi's mission statement. Now we have discussed such as the external environments. Let's go on how to develop organizational objectives and formulate strategies. First is we have to develop objectives. Objectives are what organizations want to accomplish, the end results they want to achieve in a given time frame. In addition to being accomplished within a certain time frame, objectives should be realistic and be measurable if possible. For example, your objectives might be to maintain a certain grade point average and get work experience or an internship before you graduate. So these are some of your objectives. So objectives help guide and motivate a certain employee, the company's employee, and give its managers reference points for evaluating the firm's marketing action. A firm's marketing objectives should be consistent with the company's objectives and the other levels, such as the corporate level and the business level. An example of a marketing objective again that we have is for Pepsi Corporation, and might be to increase by 4% the market share of Gatorade by the end of the year. So Pepsi produces the energy drink Gatorade. Also, we have to formulate strategies. So upon formulating strategies, strategies are the means to the ends and the game plan or what a firm is going to do to achieve its objective. So successful strategies help organizations establish and maintain a competitive advantage that competitors cannot imitate easily. Tactics include specific actions such as coupons, television commercials, banner ads, and so on, taken to execute the strategy. Firms often use multiple strategies to accomplish their objectives and capitalize on marketing opportunities. Many companies develop marketing strategies as part of their general overall business plans. Other companies also prepare separate market plans. So for developing organization objectives and formulating strategies, also don't forget to be smart, or the organization must be smart. So what does SMART means? SMART, S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for targeted and time bound. We must have some SMART objectives and strategies in order for the organization to be consistent and reach their goal and objective. We have different types of basic market strategies. First one is the market penetration strategies. So for this one, we focus on increasing a firm's sales of its existing products to its existing customers. Companies often offer consumers special promotions or low prices to increase their usage and encourage them to buy products. We also have product development strategies. For this strategy, it involves in creating new products for existing customers. A new product can be a total new innovation, an improved product, or a product with enhanced value, such as one with a new feature. Cell phones that allow consumers to charge purchases with the phone or take pictures are example of a product with a enhanced value. Also, a new product can be one that comes in different variations, such as new flavors, colors, and sizes. Another example that we have is by Pepsi Corporation is Mountain Dew Voltage. And they were introduced in the year 2009. So it is a new product by Pepsi Corporation. However, keep in mind that that what works for one company might not work for another. Now we have another basic market strategy, which is market development strategies. For this one, it focuses on entering new markets with existing products. For example, during the recent economic downturn, manufacturers of high-end coffee makers began targeting customers who go to coffee shops. So the manufacturers are hoping to develop the market for their products by making sure consumers know they can brew a great cup of coffee at home for a fraction of what they spend at Starbucks. New markets can include any new groups of customers, such as different age groups, new geographic areas, or international markets. The strategies vary in the amount of risk control and investment the firms face. So this is it. We have export. So firms can simply export or sell their products to buyers abroad, which is the least risky and least expensive method, but also offers the least amount of control. Many small firms export their products to foreign markets. So one famous product that is being exported is chocolates. Also, license. Firms can also license or sell the right to use some aspect of their production processes, trademarks, or patents to individuals or firms in foreign markets. Licensing is a very popular strategy, but firms must figure out how to protect their interests if the licensee decides to open its own business and void the license agreement. We have some fast food that offers licensing, which is Subway. We also have here franchising. So franchising is a long-term form of licensing that is extremely popular with service firms such as restaurants like McDonald's, and typically franchisees pays a fee for the franchise and must adhere to certain standards. However, they benefit from the advertising and brand recognition the franchising company provides. And another strategy that vary in amount of risk and control the investment that firms face is contract manufacturing. For this one, it allows companies to hire manufacturers to produce their products in another country. The manufacturers are provided specifications for the products, which are then manufactured and sold on behalf of the company that contracted the manufacturing. For this one, contract manufacturing may provide tax incentives and may be profitable than manufacturing the products in the home country. Examples are phone, cell phones, computers, and printers. We have two. There is two kinds of contract manufacturing. We have joint ventures and direct investments. For joint ventures, it is a combined expertise and investments of two companies and help companies enter foreign markets. The firms in each country share the risk as well as the investments. For direct investment, so it is another way to enter a foreign market and providing the most control but also having the most risk. Other companies such as advertising agencies may want to invest and develop their own business directly in international markets rather than trying to do so via other companies. And last type of basic market strategy is diversification strategy. For this strategy, it involves entering new markets with new products or doing something outside a firm's current businesses. So typically, an organization that have little experience with different markets or different products often diversify their product lines by acquiring other companies. Diversification can be profitable, take note, but it can also be risky if a company does not have the expertise or resources it needs to successfully implement the strategy. And our last objective for this week's topic is explaining what a value proposition is. So I will just explain it to you. Value proposition is a 30-second elevator speech stating the specific value a product or service provides to a target market. So firms may develop different value propositions for different groups of customers. The value proposition shows why the product or service is superior to competing offers and why the customer should buy it or why a firm should hire you. The value proposition answers the questions, why should I buy from you or why should I hire you? So as such, the value proposition becomes a critical component in shaping strategy. Individual buyers and organizational buyers both evaluate products and services to see if they provide desired benefits. Oh, we have an example. You're exploring your vacation options and you want to know the benefits of each destination and the value you will get by going to each place. So before you can develop a strategy or create a strategic plan, you first have to develop a value proposition. So you will list why would you want to go to that vacation destination and what is the benefit of going there and what value you will get by going to that place. For example, going to Sagada, to Bigarao, going to Mountain Province, going to Baguio. So you will list your desired benefits and the value you will get by going to each place. So before ending this discussion, I would like you to check your modules, handouts, or PDF files. We have required activities. We have 2 activities. You may answer 2 activities, but I will only require you to answer activity 2, which is identification. So for activity 2, write the word or words that will make the statement correct. So total of 10 items only. If you have any questions, you may reach me personally through my Facebook Messenger account, or you may reach me directly at school. Also, before I end this lesson, we have some references and suggested readings. For this topic, one of our references is Principles of Marketing by Pedrito Real Pereda, Ed D. Purissima Pedrialva Pereda, and Dr. Vicente M. Castillo, but from Mindshapers Co. Inc. from 64 Morales Street, Intramuros, Manila. Also, if you want to further learn more about our week's two topic, you may also read some suggested readings also, which is the same from the reference Principles of Marketing from Mindshapers Co. Inc. from Intramuros, Manila. So once again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. You may send me a direct message through my through Facebook Messenger, or you may also ask me directly at school. So for this week, we had described how a firm analyzes its internal environment. We also had described the external environment a firm may face and how it is analyzed. Also, we had described the different types of product strategies and market entry strategies that companies pursue. And the last thing that I did during this discussion was explaining what a value proposition is. Although it is not on the slide, but I had explained to you what value proposition is and how can you apply it to your daily lives as well. So thank you for once again for this week, and I hope that we'll see again each other on our third week, and Before ending this lesson, I would like to say thank you and share a Bible verse from the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 23. Said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. So, for with God, nothing shall be impossible. Thank you once again, and God bless everyone.